10 ways overconfidence is holding you back. In order to become the best version of yourself, you have to believe in yourself. Having confidence is one thing, but overconfidence is the opposite. In this video, we're going over 10 ways overconfidence holds you back and keeps you stuck in a cycle of poor decisions. Confidence is saying I can do it. Overconfidence says only I can do it. Number 1. You take too much risk. Overconfident people believe they're more capable than others because that's what their ego tells them. They take on way too much risk and constantly put themselves in difficult situations simply because they are smart. In that way, you get people to gamble away their entire life savings on investments they don't really understand. But they listen to podcasts about it instead. In my experience, only two kinds of people take on more risk than they can handle: desperate individuals and overconfident individuals. Both are bad. We've seen repeatedly how people believe that they can handle more than they actually can. They take on too many projects. They make too many promises, and everything collapses in the end. Overconfident people tend to make stupid mistakes that they can avoid. According to statistics, when you're 100% sure, you're only 80% right, while 20% are overconfident. Number 2. Even when you're wrong, you're right. It's hard for overconfident people to accept that they're wrong. They will spin the situation on every angle until they come up with an angle that will make them appear smart. It's not that they're wrong, but somebody else was wrong too, so it's not their fault. This makes them incredibly difficult to argue with and a pain to be around because they take on all the responsibility and then blame someone else when it turns out they can't. The idea that they could be wrong seems impossible to them, so something else must be at work. Nothing scares them more than someone unmasking their mediocrity. They will do anything they can to present themselves as the best they can be. If they don't win, they want everyone else to lose as well. Overconfident people want everyone to know why they didn't perform well that day. Number 3. You decide you're right. Overconfident people don't get informed. They become informed. Once their opinions are formed, you can't change them. They will say things like, "Say what you will, it won't change my mind." Or they will interrupt others thinking they already know. By doing this, you multiply the blind spots. As a result, your vision becomes clouded with your own version of reality, and you become a victim of your own mind. You will even argue to prove your point. Number 4. You hide mediocrity beneath it. There is only one way to maintain appearances when you haven't achieved much in your life. If you are loud and overconfident, you assume that no one will challenge you if you're so loud about it. After all, no one would have the guts to bluff this hard as you do, so no one will ever know, but they do. Some people get too attached to their overconfidence that they refuse to let it go, but they do. As a result, you have built up this character who appears to be good at everything, and you do not want people to learn that. However, all you are doing is delaying the inevitable, which is really all you are doing. Number 5. If you don't know, you assume. There are many people who do not take the time to get to know what's really happening. They simply assume it's the case and take it for granted. It is very common for people to skip the fundamentals and assume they already know how it works, so they don't need the tutorial that's meant for amateurs. Overconfident people have a tendency to glance over the foundation and do the most harm to themselves. The problem with them is that they don't take it seriously. They think they will just learn everything on the fly, and sometimes that works out, but sometimes it doesn't. And when that happens, you will be back to square one. Number 6. You believe only you can do it. You have the anti-protagonist syndrome. You believe that you are the chosen one, and with the right soundtrack, you can accomplish anything. Everyone else should not bother you. You have to do it. You must do it. The others have no chance of beating you. The quote you like most is, "If you want something done right, you've got to do it yourself." However, you act like you have already done it, but they just don't know. However, you value yourself based on what you think you can accomplish, and this goes hand in hand with having low emotional intelligence. which we talked about last week. Overconfidence coupled with a lack of emotional intelligence is one of the most damaging combinations that can be found in anyone. Number 7. You're the main character in every conversation. You believe everyone is fascinated by how awesome you are. You think all they want to do is hear you speak and learn from your vast wisdom. In order to demonstrate that you are the main character and that you are exceptionally bright, you take every opportunity to make yourself the main character. You make every conversation about yourself. You constantly one-up people. You are always eager to say, "Oh, if you think that's insane, wait until I tell you what I did." There is a genuine belief in you that people want to listen to you, and that when you talk, it is like you are giving them a gift. If anyone even dared to talk over you, you would mark them as an enemy for life. Number 8. You become a Karen. Your first instinct is to talk to the manager if you feel a slight discomfort or inconvenience, because they clearly are not aware of how important you are, or else they wouldn't give you their full attention. Overconfidence makes you feel as though you're a lot more important than you really are. It is a belief that people should treat you with the utmost respect just because you exist. If you get offended easily, you want people to walk on eggshells when you're around them. You even take pride in the fact that people would rather let you have your way because they don't want to deal with your outburst. But that doesn't mean you're important. It just means you're a selfish toddler that doesn't care about others. Number 9. You use actually to dismiss others. It is common for people to say things such as, "Hey, that's actually decent," when they encounter someone just as good as themselves. What you mean is, "I'm not sure how you managed it. You probably got lucky." But you're taking direct offense. As soon as someone accomplishes something that you had thought only you were capable of, you quickly belittle them in order to keep your imaginary crown. If someone else gets close to your level, you think that you will not be as special anymore, and so you need to feel special. As a result, you end up patronizing everyone around you like they're nothing, and only you can see the full picture of what's taking place. Number 10. You always have something to say. You just don't know when to shut up and listen. You believe you should give your unrequired opinion about every topic, regardless of whether or not you actually know anything about it. You love to give life advice as well. When someone doesn't follow your advice, it's simply because they are not ready to face reality. You can use it to give you the push you need, but most of the time it goes the other way. The problem with this is that you end up believing you are already the best version of yourself. If you find yourself being too confident, take a step back and reevaluate yourself. You might learn something new.